Okay, let's unpack this. We are taking a deep dive into something that's, well, it's everywhere, but maybe we don't think about it deeply enough. Weather and seasons. And this isn't really about meteorology, is it? It's more like looking at weather as a script for how we act. We've been analyzing sources that treat the elements, not just as numbers, but as actual instructions for our feelings, our clothes, and our day-to-day plans.
Exactly. And what's fascinating is how these sources go beyond just saying it's raining. They get into really detailed behavioral stuff. We're pulling out these nuggets that link specific weather types to like distinct emotional states and activities. It's almost like defining the cultural rituals around temperature shifts.
And maybe the biggest ritual we found right away, just talking about it. The sources actually highlighted that, didn't they? That talking about the weather is the perfect way to start a conversation.
Oh, absolutely. With anyone, anywhere. It creates this instant shared context, right? You don't need any background on the person. You just comment on the sky or the temperature and bam, you're connected on that basic reality.
Yeah. All right, so let's start where I think most people feel comfortable. Sunny weather. Our data definitely confirms the obvious, blue skies, bright sun. Generally, people feel happy, cheerful. It's kind of the default good mood.
But the sources really insist on a key difference here, a temperature nuance. We are to separate warm from just plain hot. Warm is painted as like the sweet spot. Not hot, not cold, just perfect. That's where you get maximum comfort. You can just be outside, t-shirt, shorts, no big deal.
Right. Whereas hot and sunny, that's different. That requires managing it. When it gets very, very hot, as one source put it, the weather starts telling you what to do. You're not just enjoying the sun anymore. You're actively trying to, beat the heat.
Exactly right. And that leads to these necessary, sometimes kind of urgent actions. The sources mention specific cooling things, heading to the beach because the water's cool, or, immediately needing water, maybe grabbing ice cream. The feeling shifts from pure enjoyment to, need.
But on those really nice, warm, sunny days, that's when we see all those simple city pleasures pop up in the material. Going to the park, just walking around, sitting on the grass maybe, reading under a tree.
And the picnic.
Yeah, that picnic description was great because it felt so easy. Sandwiches, fruit, a big bottle of water. It really emphasizes how warm weather just makes it effortless to be social, be outside, and just enjoy yourself.
Okay, so blue sky is the default happy place. But what about when things get a bit gray? Let's talk cloudy days. Often get a bad rap, but the sources actually made a case for them.
Oh, they definitely shouldn't just be dismissed as bad weather, no. Cloudy days were linked directly to comfort, actually, and function. The temperature is usually cooler, the light's diffused, so it's great for walking. No sunglasses needed, you don't get too hot.
And there was that unexpected bonus, wasn't there? A creative one. The sources pointed out that cloudy days are surprisingly good for taking photos.
Yes. The lighting, they described it as very soft and beautiful. So it challenges that idea that you always need bright sunshine for a good picture. Right, like a natural filter.
Exactly. It connects this sort of seemingly dreary weather to a specific aesthetic plus.
Okay, moving on to rain. We often just see it as, a pain, something to get through. But you found something really interesting in the sources. This hidden, almost secret love for rain. What's that about?
It's the cozy truth, isn't it? The sources seem to pinpoint two very different rain experiences, defined by where you are. Inside, the rain becomes the perfect excuse for warmth and comfort. It sort of gives you permission to retreat, make hot tea, hot coffee, watch a movie, curl up with a book.
And it's often about the sound too, right? That sensory detail came up. The sources mentioned the sound, not just noise, but that specific pitter-patter, called it very relaxing.
Profoundly relaxing. It turns this potential outside stress into focused calm inside. But we also have to balance that indoor coziness with the fact that rain is, necessary. The sources are good at reminding us about its practical side. It's vital for nature. It makes everything green and fresh. So it's this inconvenience that actually delivers beauty later.
Which maybe explains why, if you're prepared. Big umbrella, raincoat, the right boots, even going outside can be fun. They mentioned jumping in puddles like a little kid. That's a type of fun you just can't have in the sun.
Exactly. The gear itself kind of elevates it from just walking to actual play.
Okay, let's shift to the air itself moving. Windy days. When you can really feel the atmosphere. Whoosh.
Yeah, and the sources didn't just focus on the hassle of wind. They linked it directly to autumn, to the beauty of it. The wind is what makes those red, yellow, orange leaves dance. One source even called it nature's confetti, which is just a lovely image. It turns wind from a problem into a show.
Though strong wind is difficult, there was that very specific, relatable detail. Someone running down the street, chasing a hat blown off by a big gust of wind. We've all been there, maybe not with a hat, but yeah.
Definitely grounds it in reality. But the ideal response, harness the wind. The source is pointed to flying a kite as the perfect windy day activity. It goes so high in the sky, it looks like a little bird. It's like you're working with the element.
Okay, moving into the Burr temperatures now. Cold air. And again, the sources used sensory words, didn't they? Not just cold. They called it fresh, crisp, feeling very clean.
That framing's interesting. It connects cold to this feeling of clarity, maybe purity. And to handle it, the sources list the essentials, the ritual items. Warm coat, scarf, gloves, warm hat. These aren't just clothes, they're tools for comfort.
And the must-have cold weather treat, the ultimate comfort ritual.
Hot chocolate.
Had to be.
And specifically, they mentioned ideally with marshmallows on top. It's not just about a warm drink. It's that whole sensory package to fight the cold.
And then when it gets very, very cold,
Right.
sometimes we get snow. The sources describe seeing snow as magical, white, quiet.
Yeah, a total transformation of the landscape. Suddenly hushed and bright white. It's a powerful visual and auditory shift.
And snow obviously brings its own special activities, very time-limited ones.
Yes, and the sources got quite specific about what you need for proper snow fun. Building a snowman requires the classics, right? Carrot nose, stones for eyes and mouth, and a scarf. Crucial detail.
The scarf finishes it.
It does. And for a snowball fight, a very practical reminder, good gloves are essential. Don't forget the gloves.
Right. So, okay, we've got these 8 distinct weather types now, each with its own gear, its own snacks, its own mood. But how do they all fit together? What's the bigger picture here?
Right, that's where the 4 seasons come in. The sources use them as the connecting framework. They're like these predictable arcs of weather and activity. Take spring. That's when things start warming up again. It's characterized by anticipation, sunny but also rainy, April showers bring May flowers.
The season of renewal. Flowers start growing, days get longer. The sources called it a lovely season, mainly because it's not too extreme, right? Not too hot, not too cold. Restores your energy after winter.
Exactly. Then comes summer. Defined by heat, sun, long days, this is framed as the peak season for doing things. Maximum outdoor time, beaches, picnics, just being out in that warm air. Functionally, it's the energetic, happy season in the sources.
Then autumn or fall, the process reverses. Days shorten, temperature cools, often windy, hence those dancing leaves we talked about. The sources called it a cozy season, triggering that return to warm sweaters and scarves. It's more about appreciating the beauty, maybe winding down a bit.
And finally, winter, the cold period. Sometimes very cold. It becomes the time for staying inside, more the hot chocolate rituals, snow fun if you get it. Winter kind of mandates rest, internal focus.
So within all of this, it's really clear people develop favorites.
Yeah.
And we saw 2 quite different preferences emerge in the material, which really shows how personal perfect weather is.
It's a really fascinating contrast, based on what people prioritize. Preference 1 was that warm, sunny day, the just perfect one. That was chosen because it offers the most freedom. The person felt they can do anything, be outside, be inside with windows open. So that choice is all about happiness, energy, options.
And the second preference, much more specific, more sensory.
Totally. Preference 2 is the cool, sunny autumn day. This person loved the crisp air, feeling fresh, sunshine without summer's heat. And the reason was very specific. It lets them wear favorite sweaters and scarves and walk among those colorful leaves. Peaceful, beautiful. That choice prioritizes a kind of curated comfort and aesthetic experience over just activity.
And that difference, that seems key to this whole deep dive, doesn't it? Both want sun, but at totally different temperatures. It shows how just a slight shift, warm to cool, completely changes our priorities from wanting freedom of movement to wanting like cozy sensory stuff.
The context really does define the experience. What you wear, what you crave. It all shifts with that temperature dial. It's quite profound, actually.
So what's the big takeaway here? We've gone through 8 weather types, 4 seasons. We've got the gear, the snacks, the activities, inside and out. We've sort of mapped the whole system of how people interact with the atmosphere.
Well, the main point, hammered home again and again in the sources, is how useful all this shared experience is. Talking about the weather, it's easy, it's friendly. It really is that perfect conversation starter. Anyone, anywhere. No prior knowledge needed. Just look up or feel the air.
Yeah, a simple observation works. Beautiful day, isn't it? Or maybe, wow, it's really cold today. Instant connection.
Exactly. So here's a final thought for you, the listener, to maybe chew on a bit. We've seen how weather changes the meaning of specific things, like eating ice cream only makes sense on a hot day, or reading feels cozier when it's raining. But think about something you do often, maybe that isn't weather dependent, like listening to your favorite music or working on a hobby. How does the actual feel or meaning of that activity change for you based on the weather outside? Is it different if it's snowing versus blazing sunshine? Think about how that external context shapes your internal experience.